Good evening, America. I would like to announce Tuesday evening that I shall be embarking on a continuation of my Reality Bites Tuesdays. Let's start at the scene in the bar. Troy is up on stage playing some songs with his band, and Michael is having some drinks with Vicky and Leilana. Troy finishes the set and begins talking to Michael, Leilana, and Vicky. My version of this scene is a rewrite embellished by me to reflect my romantic and narcissistic desires. Excuse me, Leilana, what is Michael doing here? He decided to drop in. Nice said, Michael. I'm here to fly Leilana and I to New York City. I edited her documentary, and I would like to premiere it at a different theater there. I didn't agree to that. I thought that after seeing what I did with your documentary, you would most certainly be interested in going with me to New York City to give people an opportunity to see what a wonderful filmmaker you are. I don't like what you have done with it at all. You edited out all the parts that are supposed to show the dramatic arc of my happiness, sadness, inner searchings, yearnings, life goals, romantic longings, and philosophical ruminations, and sensationalize it to make it marketable to Philistines. When the checks start coming in, you'll be more than happy with my product, I'm sure. My artistic integrity is the most valuable commodity there is. I know I'm going to be able to succeed with this eventually. If you stick with me, I can guarantee you instant success. I'm going for artistic success. If I can achieve that, the money will follow. What about me? Go with me, and you will travel the world with my rock band. So far, you have only toured the local coffee houses. All of a sudden, the former lover of Leilana shows up to speak to them. His name is Mike Meyer. He has come to try to get their romance started again. Hi, Leilana. Mike? I don't believe my eyes. You don't think that I forgot about you, do you? I haven't forgotten about you. So, how have you been? Who is this guy? Oh, pardon me, Troy. This is Mike. We go way back. What do you do, Mike? I'm in a rock band and I run a theater company. This evening, we are going to be putting on a performance of William Shakespeare plays. Would you like to come? Sure, I would. I would like to tell you people something else that is very interesting. You people are archetypal characters in a script. The real life characters who portray you can be visited if you come with me. Really? Yes, it's a fact. In real life, my character is being played by a guy who also has the name Mike Meyer. The Leilana Pierce character is being played by Winona Ryder. In real life, Mike Meyer is very close to realizing his dream of meeting Winona Ryder, the woman he feels that he is preordained to consummate his love with. The consummation of his love would confer immortality to both of them. True love has that power. Let's go see the play tonight. Are you people with me on this? Everybody nods their approval and they go to see the performance. Here's an excerpt from it. Okay, let me get out my William Shakespeare. So this is the play that they've attended. This is a performance of the play. William Shakespeare coming right up. Here's my Shakespeare book, and let's see. Okay. Okay. Read some William Shakespeare if you're interested. I know my what? What? Okay. So what I'm saying is, like, I know I've got like a dirty title for the live performance, but that's to try to attract attention to a performance which is actually highbrow. Okay. Let's see. I'm just going to read various excerpts from various William Shakespeare plays. It looks like I lost a listener because I thought it was going to be dirty. What? Okay. Let me see. Let's see. We got which one do I want to do? The Taming of the Shrew? Nah. There's one called As You Like It. The Merchant of Venice. A Midnight Summer Night's Dream. Love's Labor's Lost. Much Ado About Nothing. The Comedy of Errors. Measure for Measure. Let's just pick one out. The Merry Wives of Windsor. Two Gentlemen of Verona. The Tempest. Which one do I want to do? King Henry V, Macbeth, Titus of Andronicus, Troilus of Cressida, King Henry VIII. The second part of King Henry IV. King John, The Winter's Tale. The Twelfth Night. I'm trying to pick one out. I can't decide. Which one do I want to do? All's Well That Ends Well. See, a lot of these, if you think about it, a lot of these phrases that some of these things that Shakespeare wrote are still used today. All's well that ends well. Have you ever heard that? Shakespeare wrote it. Okay. I'm just going to do The Taming of the Shrew because I like the title. Okay, so let's just start with the beginning. O monstrous beast, how like a swine he lies. Grim death, how foul and loathsome in thine image. Sirs, I will practice on this drunken man. What think you if he were conveyed to bed, wrapped in sweet clothes, rings put upon his fingers, a most delicious banquet by his head, and brave attendants near him when he wakes? Would not the better beggar then forget himself? Believe me, I think he cannot choose. It would seem strange unto him when he waked. Even as a flattering dream or worthless fancy, then take him up and manage well the jest. Carry him gently to my fairest chamber, and hang it round with all my wanton pictures. Balm his foul head, and warm distilled waters, and burn sweet wood to make the lodging sweet. Procure me music ready when he wakes, to make a dulcet and a heavenly sound, and when he chance to speak, be ready straight, and with a low submissive reverence say, what is your honor will command? Let one attend him with a silver basin, all of rose water and bestrewed with flowers. Another bear the ewer, the third a diaper, and say, will it please your lordship cool your hands? Someone be ready with a costly suit, and ask him what appeal he will wear apparel, and that his lady mourns at his disease. Persuade him that he hath been a lunatic, and when he says he is, say that he dreams, for he is nothing but a mighty lord. This do, and do it kindly, gentle sirs. It will be, I don't know if I like this play. I think it sucks. I want to do it on a different one. I don't know what these guys are talking about in that one. I pick a better one out. That one sucks. Okay. I love Romeo and Juliet. That's the one I like the best, but let's see what else we got. Let's see what else we got. Oh, I do have a viewer, and they're hanging on for a while too, so that's good. Some of these people, they write things on this YouTube. They write little comments that are not even coherent. Okay. How about the Merchant of Venice? Okay, I'll try that one, and I'll try another one. Eventually, I'm going to get the Romeo and Juliet, but let's see. The Merchant of Venice. Act 1. I want to find one with a girl in the scene. Okay. But I can even tell if which names are girls and which are guys. Portia, that's got to be a girl's name. Okay. Scene 2 of The Merchant of Venice, Belmont, Portia's house. Okay, let's go. Enter Portia and her waiting woman, Nerissa. Okay. By my so wait a minute. So Portia, her waiting woman, does that mean she's? I don't know. Does Shakespeare write about? You know what I'm saying? Did Shakespeare write about lesbians too? I don't know. That would be cool if he did. Okay. That's pretty cool. If he did. Okay. By my troth, Nerissa, my little body is aweary of this great world. That was Portia. Now here's Nerissa. You would be, sweet madam, if your miseries were in the same abundance as your good fortunes are. And yet, for aught I see, they are as sick that surfeit with too much as that they starve with nothing. It is no mean happiness, therefore, to be sealed in the mean. Okay, so this word, superfluity, So something that's superfluous. So it's a form of the word superfluous. Superfluity. Yeah, something like that. Okay. Comes sooner by white hairs, but competency lives longer. Good sentences and well pronounced. They would be better if well followed. If it were as easy as to know what were good to do, chapels had been churches, and poor men's cottages, princes' palaces. It is a good divine that follows his own instructions. I can easier teach 20 what were good to be done than to be one of 20 to follow mine own teaching. The brain may devise laws for the blood, but a hot temper leaps o'er a cold decree. Such a hare is madness, the youth. To skip over the meshes of good counsel to cripple, or the cripple. But this reasoning is not in the fashion to choose me a wife. I'm reading straight out of this book. Okay. Only the word choose, I may neither choose who I would not refuse, who I dislike. So is will of a living daughter. Curbed by the wall of a dead father. It is not hard, Nerissa, that I cannot choose one nor refuse none. Your father was ever virtuous, and holy men at their death have good inspirations. Therefore, the lottery that hath devised in these 3 chests of gold, silver, and lead, whereof who chooses his meaning chooses you, will no doubt be chosen by any rightly but one who shall rightly love, who you shall rightly love. But what warmth is there in your affection towards any of these women that are already come? Okay. I'm going to pick another one. That was do little samples of these. So that's a sample of The Merchant of Venice. As You Like It. I'll sample this one. Shakespeare's actually a lot of fun to perform, and if you really read between the lines, there's a lot of murder, mayhem, mystery, and there's some sexuality in here too. If I read between the lines, yeah. Wait, okay. This one's called As You Like It. I'm trying to find. Celia. There's a character named Celia. No, I don't want to do this one. Let's see. Hamlet. Okay, I got to find a scene with Hamlet and a woman. Okay, this is the classic. Let's see how well I can perform the classic. This has got to be the most quoted passage from Shakespeare. And I see that nobody's listening to this on YouTube because it's not dirty, but I'll do it anyways. This is the most quoted passage from Shakespeare, I think. Enter Hamlet. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slugs, slings, and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing them to die, to sleep, no more, and by a sleep to say we end. The heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to, 'tis a consummation devoutly to be wished to die, to sleep perchance, to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in the sleep of death, what dreams may come. When we have shuffled off this mortal coil, must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely? I gotta look that word up. The pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes. When he himself might his quietest make with a bare bodkin, who would these fardels bear? There's a lot of words in here that haven't been used for like 400 years. Not by people around here, anyways. Okay. To grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dead of something after death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveler returns, puzzles the will and makes us rather bear those ills we have then to fly to others that we have not of. Thus, conscience does make us cowards of us all. And thus, the native hue of resolution, there's a lot of philosophy in this writing too, is sicklied, or the pale cast of thought. And enterprises of great pitch and moment. With this regard, their currents turn all awry and lose the name of action. Soft you now. The fair Ophelia, nymph, in thy so that wasn't completely correct. That's a little bit dirty. Nymph, you know what a nymph is? Okay. In thy horizons, be all my sins remembered. How does your honor for this many a day? I humbly thank you. I have remembrances of yours that I have longed to redeliver. I pray you now receive them. I never gave you aught. You know right well you did. And with them words of so sweet breath composed, as made the things more rich, their perfume lost. Take these again for to the noble mind, rich gifts was poor when givers prove unkind. Are you honest? Are you fair? What means you? That if you be honest and fair, your honesty should admit no discourse to your beauty. Could beauty have better commerce than with honesty? Aye, truly, for the power of beauty will sooner transform honesty from what it is to a bawd than the force of honesty can translate beauty into his likeness. This was sometime a paradox, but now the time gives it proof. I did love you once. Indeed, you made me believe so. You should not have believed me, for virtue cannot so inoculate our old stock, but we shall relish of it. I loved you not. I was the more deceived. Get thee to a nunnery. Why wouldst thou be a breeder of sinners? I am myself indifferent, honest, but yet I could accuse me of such things that it were better my mother had not borne me. I am very proud, revengeful, ambitious, with more offenses to my back than I have thoughts to put them in, imagination to give them shape, or time to act them in. What should such fellows as I do crawling between earth and heaven? We are errant knaves. All. Believe none of us. Go the ways to a nunnery. Where's your father? At home. Let the doors be shut upon him, that he may play the fool no more, nowhere but in his own house. Farewell. Oh, help him, you sweet heavens. If thou dost marry me, wait, what does this say? Um, he keeps saying, get thee to a nunnery, farewell. Go to a nunnery, farewell. I'm just reading out of this Hamlet thing. Whatever. I'm going to go to another one now. Macbeth. I'll do Macbeth. Eventually, I want to get to Romeo and Juliet. Or wait a minute. All's well that ends well. I'll do that one. How about much ado about nothing? Okay. Scene one of much ado about nothing instead of all's well that ends well. Okay. Was not Count John here at supper? I saw him not. How tartly that gentleman looks. I never can see him, but I am heartburned an hour after. He is of a very melancholy disposition. He were an excellent man that were made just in the midway between him and Benedict. The one is too like an image and says nothing, and the other too like my lady eldest son, evermore tattling. That half Signor Benedict's tongue and Count John's. What the fuck? This is. I don't think I want to. This is. I kid you not. I'm reading out of Shakespeare. I don't know what this one's about. Okay, I'm gonna do a different one. Also, for any of you who are just joining me, I've been doing some William Shakespeare performances out of this book. I have complete works of Shakespeare. Okay. How about Troilus and no, that one. Let's just go back to Romeo and Juliet. Okay. It's my favorite one, anyways. I think it's a lot of people's favorite one. Okay, let's just. All right. Okay, so here we go. Let's go to the beginning. Okay. I'll just go to the beginning. Scene one, Verona, a public place. Enter Samson and Gregory of the house of Capulet, with swords and bucklers on. Gregory, on my word, will not carry coals. No, for then we should be colliers. I mean, and we being Kohler will draw. Aye, while you live, draw your neck out of collar. I strike quickly, being moved. But thou art not quickly moved to strike. A dog of the house of Montague moves me. To move is to stir, and to be valiant is to stand. Therefore, if thou art moved, thou runn'st away. A dog of that house shall move me to stand. I will take the wall of any man or maid of Montague's. That shows thee a weak slave, for the weakest goes to the wall. 'Tis true, and therefore women, being the weaker vessels, are ever thrust to the wall. Therefore I'll push Montague's men from the wall and thrust his maids to the wall. The quarrel in between So this is, I don't want to read that part because it seems a little bit like chauvinistic because I believe in equality, but this was written in the 1600s. So let's go. Okay, scene 2, Capulet's Orchard. Enter Romeo. Enter Juliet at a window. Okay. But soft. What light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon. Who is already sick and pale with grief? That thou, her maid, art far more fair than she. Be not her maid, since she is envious. Her vestal livery is but sick and green, and none but fools do wear it. Cast it off. It is my lady, oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. She speaks, yet she says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses, I'll answer it. I am too bold, 'tis not to me she speaks, two of the fairest stars in all the heaven. Having some business to entreat her eyes, to twinkle in their spheres they will return, till they return. What if her eyes were there, they in their head? The brightness of her cheek would shame those stars, as daylight doth a lamp. Her eyes in heaven would through the airy region stream so bright that birds would sing and think it were not night. See how she leaps? She leans her cheek upon her hand. Oh, that I were a glove upon that hand, that I might touch that cheek. Oh, speak again, bright angel, for thou art as glorious to this night, being o'er my head, as is a winged messenger of heaven unto the white, upturned, wondering eyes of mortals that fall back to gaze at him, when he bestrides the lazy pacing clouds and sails upon the bosom of air. O Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name, or, if thou wilt not, be but sworn, and I'll no longer be a Capulet. Shall I hear more, or shall I speak at this? 'Tis but my name that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, though not a Montague. What's a Montague? It is nor hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face, nor any other part belonging to a man. Oh, be some other name. What's in a name? That which we call a rose, by any other name would smell as sweet. So Romeo would, if were he not Romeo called, retain that there perfection which he owes without that title. Romeo, doff thy name, and for thy name, which is no part of thee, take all myself. I take thee at my word. Call me but love, and I'll be new baptized. Henceforth I never will be Romeo. What man art thou, that thus be screened in night, so stumblest on my counsel? By a name I know not how to tell thee who I am. My name, dear saint, is hateful to myself, because it is an enemy to thee. Had I it written, I would tear the word. My ears have yet not drunk 100 words of thy tongue's uttering, yet I know the sound. Art thou not Romeo and Amante? Neither, fair maid, if either thee dislike. How canst thou hither? Tell me, and wherefore? The orchard walls are high and hard to climb, and the place death, considering who thou art. If any of my kinsmen find thee here, with love's light wings did I overperch these walls. For stony limits cannot hold love out, and what love can do, that dares love attempt. Therefore, thy kinsmen are not to stop me, or are no stop to me. If they do see thee, they will murder thee. Alack, there lies more peril in thine eye than 20 of their swords. Look thou but sweet. And I am proud against their enmity. I would not for the world they saw thee here. I have night's cloak to hide me from their eyes, and but thou love me, let them find me here. My life were better ended by their hate than death prorogued wanting of thy love. By whose direction foundst thou out this place? By love that first did prompt me to inquire. He lent me counsel, and I lent him ours. I am no pilot, yet wert thou as far as that vast shore washed with the farthest sea, I should have ventured for such merchandise. Thou knowest the mask of night is on my face, else would a maiden be paint my cheek. For that which thou hast heard me speak tonight, fain would I dwell inform, fain deny what I have spoke, but farewell compliment. Dost thou love me? I know thou wilt say it, aye, and I will take thee at that word. Yet if thou swearest, thou mayst prove false at lovers' perjuries. They say, if thou blah 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 blah. Okay, let's see. Lady? By yonder blessed moon I vow, that tips with silver all these fruit treetops. Oh, swear not by the moon, the inconsistent moon, that monthly changes in her circled orb, lest that thy love prove likewise variable. What shall I swear by? Do not swear at all. If thou wilt, swear by thy gracious self, which is the God of my idolatry, and I'll believe thee. If my heart's dear love, well, do not swear. Although I joy in thee, I have no joy of this contract tonight. It is too rash, too unwise, too sudden. Too like the lightning which doth cease to be. Ere one can say it lightens, sweet, good night. This bud of love by summer's ripening breath may prove a beauteous flower when next we meet. Good night, as sweet repose and rest. Come to thy heart as that within my breast. Oh, wilt thou leave me so unsatisfied? What satisfaction canst thou have tonight? The exchange of thy love's faithful vow for mine. I gave thee mine before thou did request it. And yet I would it were to give again. Wouldst thou withdraw it? For what purpose, love? But to be frank and give it thee again. And yet I wish but for the thing I have. My bounty is as boundless as the sea. My love is deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite. Nurse calls within. I hear some noise within. Dear love, adieu. Anon, good nurse. Sweet Montague, be true. Stay but a little, I will come again. Oh, blessed night, I am afraid. What? Being in night, all this is but a dream. Too flattering sweet to be substantial. Re-enter Juliet above. 3 words there, Romeo, and good night indeed. If that thy bent of love be honorable, thy purpose marriage, send me word tomorrow. By one that'll procure to come to thee, where and what time thou wilt perform the rites. Madam, I come anon, but if thou mean'st not well, I do beseech thee. Madam, by and by I come to cease thy suit and leave me to my grief. Tomorrow will I send. So thrive, my soul. 1,000 times good night. A 1,000 times the worse to want thy light. Love goes towards love as hiss, Romeo, hissed. Oh, for a Faulkner's Falsner's voice. To lure this tassel gentle back again. Bondage is hoarse, and may not speak aloud. Else would I tear the cave where echo lies, and make her airy tongue more hoarse than mine. With repetition of it is my soul that calls upon my name. How silver sweet sound lovers' tongues by night, like softest music attending the ears. Romeo, my dear, at what o'clock tomorrow shall I send to thee? By the hour of 9. I will not fail. 'Tis 20 years till then. I have forgot why I call thee back. Did call thee back. Let me stand here till thou remember it. I shall forget to have thee still stand there, remembering how I love thy company. And I'll stay to have thee still forgetting other home but this. 'Tis almost morning, I would have thee gone, and yet no further than a wanton bird's that lets it a little from her hand, like a poor prisoner in his twisted gyves, and with a silk thread plucks it back again, so loving jealous of his liberty. I would I were thy bird. Sweet, so would I. Yet I should kill thee with much cherishing. Good night, partings of such sweet sorrow, that I shall say good night till it be morrow. Sleep dwell upon thine eyes, peace in thy breasts. Would I were sleep and peace, so sweet to rest. Hence will I to my ghostly father's cell his help to crave, my dear hap to tell. Let's see. Oh, I was seeing them with a Juliet and the nurse. Okay. Where in Capulet's orchard, enter Juliet. Okay. The clock struck 9 when I did send the nurse. In half an hour, she promised to return. Perchance she cannot meet him. That's not so. Oh, she is lame. Love's heralds should be thoughts, which 10 times faster glide than the sun's beams, driving back shadows over luring hills. There do nimble pinioned doves draw love, and therefore hath the wind swift Cupid wings. Now is the sun upon the light highmost hill. On this day's journey, and from 9 till 12, is 3 long hours, yet she is not come. Had she affections and warm youthful blood, she would be as swift in motion as a ball. My words would bandy her to my sweet love. But old folks, many feign as they were dead, unwieldy, slow, heavy, and pale as lead. Enter nurse and Peter. Oh God, she comes. Oh, honey nurse, what news? Hast thou met with him? Send Peter, stay at the gate. Exit Peter. Wait, who's Peter? Okay, I don't. Now, good sweet nurse, O Lord, why look'st thou so sad? Thou news be sad, yet tell them merrily. If good, thou I am weary. How art thou out of breath when thou hast breath to say that thou art out of breath? Do you not see that I am out of breath? The excuse that thou dost make in this delay is longer than the tale dost excuse. Is thy news good or bad? Answer to that. Say either, and I'll stay the circumstance. Let me be satisfied. Is it good or bad? Well, you have made a simple choice. You know not how to choose. Um, oh, serpent heart, hid with a flowering face. Did ever dragon keep so fair a cave? Beautiful tyrant, fiend angelical, dove feathered raven, wolfish ravening lamb, despised substance of divinest show, just opposite to what thou justly seemst, O damned saint, an honorable villain. O nature, what hast thou to do in hell when thou didst bower the spirit of a fiend in mortal paradise of such sweet flesh? Was ever book containing such vile matter so fairly bound? Oh, that deceit should dwell in such a gorgeous palace. There's no trust, no faith, no honesty in men, all perjured, all forsworn, all naught, all dissemblers. Aye, what? Where's my woman? Give me some aqua vita. These griefs, these woes, these sorrows make me old. Shame come to Romeo. Blistered be thy tongue for such a wish. He was not born to shame. Upon his brow shame is ashamed to sit, for 'tis a throne where honor may be crowned, sole monarch of the universal earth. Oh, what a beast was I to chide at him. Will you speak well of him that killed your cousin? Shall I speak ill of him that it... Wash they his wounds with tears. Mine shall be spent. When theirs are dry for Romeo's banishment, take up these cords, poor ropes. You are beguiled, both you and I, for Romeo is exiled. He made you a highway to your bed, but you are a maid. Ye to your chamber. I'll find Romeo to comfort you. I'll find him. Give him this ring. to my. Romeo, come forth, thou fearful man. Affliction is enamored of thy parts, and thou art wedded to calamity. Enter Romeo. What is the prince's doom? What sorrow craves acquaintance at my hand that I yet know not? Here from Verona art thou banished. Be patient, for the world is broad and wide. There is no world without Verona walls, but purgatory, torture, hell itself. Hence banished is banished from the world, and world's exile is death. That banished to be death. Mr. I'm calling death banished. Thou cutt'st my head off with a golden axe, and smilest upon the stroke that murders me. O deadly sin, O rude unthankfulness, thy fault our law calls death. But the kind prince, taking thy part, hath rushed aside the law, and turns that black word death to banishment. Act 4. I don't know. I think that was enough for now. Okay. Bye.